All right, folks, you see him in the background there, friend of the show, Brian Barone here, SIUE Cougars, going to the big dance, see the March Madness ticket punch in the background. Brian, good to talk to you again. How you doing, brother?
Let's go. Let's go. I'm doing great. Come on, I'm doing great. I'm always doing great when I'm talking to you, but there's a little extra pop today, right?
100%, man. I was talking about off the air, man, how we've been doing the interviews since 2019, man, and
Yep.
to see you come through all these tough games you've had over the years, man, to finally get the job done in Evansville, man, has to make you feel really great for your program, your staff, your managers, everybody involved, man, and see this process who believed in you all these years, man.
Yeah, no, it's great. I got a lot of people around me that work really, really hard, so it's really good to see all their joy as well.
No doubt, man. And Brian, for you, my ask you this, brother. Talk about the sacrifices of everybody within your program, from the managers, the support staff, strength coaches, your assistant coaches, administration, who really put into your team, and everybody gives up a little bit of themselves to actually, make this thing to be what it is today. The business is its bigger goal of getting to the big dance and putting SIUE on the map even more than it already is on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I think you start with, from a manager, I call them my executives because I think that they're that good. They're that good at people and workers and they put things in place where you don't have to think about the basketball, right? Anything other than the basketball. So like, I mean, the lights are on, the uniforms are ready to roll, the practice gear is ready to roll, the food's where it needs to be, just the travel, all that kind of stuff. Like, so now we can just, get go to film, we can get to practice. You have the administration that, Andrew Gavin has completely bought into enhancing our athletic department as a whole. And you don't hear a whole lot of no from him. You get a lot of how can I support you? From the chancellor, Dr. Miner, he's been very supportive of athletics. And then you go to the assistant coaches. The sacrifices they give on a daily basis, through scouting, making sure academics are on point, making sure the guys are getting individual development where they need to be. It's just a selfless job. And you got, that the strength coach, he's always kind of adjusting to what we have to do, right? Practice might go a little longer. The trainer, like, you got to be the first one there, the last one to leave. Like, there's always an adjustment to allow me, ultimately me, to decide what I think is best for the program on that particular day. So there's a lot of people in place that allow me to just be the best version of myself. All of that being said, none of it happens without our family. Without my wife taking my kids to volleyball, to dance, to piano, to singing, to picking up my kids, like, and same with the rest of my staff. Like, there are so many things behind the scenes that allow us to go out there and just play a basketball game. So I could talk about that all day. I won't, but that's a very important part of our program.
But it's very important, you said, having some support of your wife, a support system is
Yeah.
so important because, like you said, even with me doing radio, having that support system, be on the road as much as I am, as much road as you are away from home, then have people who really believe in your vision and your dream and really support you and understand what you're dealing with. And it's so important to have people like that around you who support you and not energy vampires, but actually give point energy into you so you can keep doing what you're doing and we'll do
Yep.
what you love, do what we love the right way.
Yeah, they give you energy. That's the best way to say it, and you can see their energy kind of depleting, right? Like, you can almost see it sometimes, but you got to make sure you take care of home, obviously, but especially in this run, like, just the amount of sacrifice that everyone gives us and now you see them crying in the crowd. That was the first thing. I'm looking at my wife, I'm pointing to her with about 30 seconds, and we're going dancing. And I want to, you say congratulations to the other team, and I want it to go right to her. Because I know what she did to put me in a position to just try to not screw this thing up.
And you know what was good about you? You got the double bye. You played Tennessee State there, and a tough game there, man. You was up, they came back, went down to the wire. But for you, in that defensive stand, 25 seconds, they never get a shot off. You have to
Yeah.
love that your defense stood up when it counted. Them 25 seconds, they can get a shot up to either tie it or take the lead on you.
Yeah, I mean, Penny does a great job. Like, we always have battles with him, and I mean, what did they win? Like 10 out of 12, 14, 15 down the stretch, 11 out of something. So, you knew that it was going to be a battle, and I thought that we extended it at one point. They fought back. I think they even tied it. And then, we obviously had that 2 point lead going into the last 23 seconds. And they run some action that we had great rotations. Really didn't give an opportunity to kind of take an early shot. And then it became, all right, let's figure out how we get this last stop. And we kind of, it was five guys on the court sacrificing for the guy next to him to get that stop. And it was huge because then you don't get that opportunity the next day if you don't get that stop.
No doubt, man. And you know what? I know you had a stretch run there, man, some tough games, but your guys stayed together, stayed connected. They didn't get down, stayed true to the process. Been everyday guys we talk about. So talk about that during the stretch, man. Just knowing that hey, getting that 2 seed was so important. Get that double bye. So you beat Penny. You get that 2 seed. You know, got to play one more game against
Yeah.
SEMO. And then, that's the game where you withstand a run. They come back at you. You go on 19-2 run of your own, just close it out. So talk about that resolve of your team, man. Just throughout this stretch run OVC and how tough it really was and to beat Penny and Brad to get to the
Yeah.
dance, how tough that really is.
Well, I mean, down the stretch, we had Tennessee State, Little Rock, SEMO, Tennessee Martin. I know I'm free. Southern Indiana. At Southern Indiana is always tough. Like our end of the year schedule was tough. Like everyone's was. We had some home games. We lost to SEMO previously, and then we got a little help by Eastern Illinois beating Little Rock, and then it was for that 2 seed. So we ended up, beating Little Rock at our place. And then obviously the Tennessee State game we get, and you go into playing Brad, who's an unbelievable coach and a really good person. And his team had a heck of a year, and they had gotten us twice pretty handily. On a 1 day prep, we had to go up there, and our mantra, our thought process was like they have to at least see the best version of us. If they're going to beat us, they got to beat the best version of us because they have not seen the best version of us yet. A lot of it had to do with what they were doing. But we went out there. They got on a good run to start the game. We extended it to 11 right away. The second half, it was just like the first half. They get on a big run, they tie it, and then you could just tell our guys were like, not today. It just was one of those days where they were not going to let SIUE's fans and families and myself down with a loss. It was fun to play coach because you could feel that resolve.
No doubt, man. And watching it on TV, I can see as well, man. Like I feel like it was your time to shine because I could see in your guys' eyes, man. The competitive juices was flowing, the way it was locked in, the attention to detail, the timeout huddles. I could just tell, like you said, not today. It ain't gonna happen
Yeah,
today.
not just maybe tomorrow, not today.
Yeah, you 100%. And Ray Sean Taylor, we talk about him all the time, Brian, man. Player of the year, trim MVP. Just talking about what he did these two games, man. Just how he once again showed up and showed out who he really is and how he represents your program and the Cougars the right way, brother.
I mean, he represents us. I mean, you start with him as a person. He's a phenomenal person. He's resilient. He's loyal. He's caring. He wants to be part of the community. He wants to be part of just it. That's the best way to say it. He just like if there's something to do, he just wants to be part of it because he's going to bring whatever he's doing. He's going to raise the level. From a basketball standpoint, I thought his leadership really took off this year. Defensively, he was the best he's ever been. But just his day to day, like there was times, might have been the Little Rock game. I think he had 11 points, but it was one of his best games that I feel like he's ever played. He was getting the ball where it needed to be. He had some stops like he needed to do to clinch that 2 seed. He just really is a resilient person, better person than a player, and he's a really, really good player. And I'm glad the league recognized him. I respect the coaches and the media for saying that we voted for him, obviously, player of the year. And he did what a player of the year needed to do. He led our team to the NCAA tournament. It was pretty special.
And you also had Ring coming in, Miles, and all tournament team as well. So we'll just highlight those two young men as well, what they've been to your program as well, Brian.
Well, it's great because those two guys they won a national championship last year, junior college. So they know what a championship run means. They know how to do it. They were resilient in terms of trying to figure out throughout the year how to get the adjustment to speed, we had a lot of injuries. So like, Ring could play a lot of different positions. He was kind of slotted into a bigger position this year for a decent amount of time because we had some of our bigs hurt. And then Miles was able to now slot down a little bit when our bigs got healthy. And he's obviously still a big guy. So they just have a DNA and how to win. I mean, they're built for it. And I thought like a guy like Brian Taylor. I mean, he was solid last year, probably should have had more opportunity when I look back on it from my perspective. But he took it and ran with it. He didn't do what happens a lot. He started with himself last summer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to control this. And trusted that, our conversations, that if you do this, you're going to get this opportunity. And by the end of the year, he was somebody that, I mean, he was talking to me about, thought, what's going on in the program, what's going on the court, how the guys feeling. Should we go a little longer today? Should we go a little less today? He was a guy that I was trusting from like that regard. So you could see it evolving throughout the last month and a half that this was a serious possibility.
No doubt, Brian. Like so we talked about this over the years with our chats, man. Seemed like to me from afar, you developed into a player-led team this year. Like, and those are the most successful teams. If these guys really took ownership of this thing, hey, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna coaches here, the leading guys, but it's really gonna be a player-led team throughout the year, man.
That was my speech at the end. Like we talked about the very beginning of the year, like the very first conversation we had as a team. I was talking about you have to play for one another. Don't just be for your teammate. Don't be like, yeah, cool, good shot. I'm happy for him. No, play for him. Make the screen that he can make the shot. Get the loose ball. Like, do the thing that your teammate can get the stat, but you're playing for him. And then when you do that, you will trust one another. So we talked about trust and playing for one another. And that was my last speech. My last speech going out to win the championship. I told them, play for one another, and I trust this team. And it's their team. And it's hard to give trust sometimes. It's just, especially as a coach, right? Job's on the line, you think you can control everything. But man, it's really good to go out there and be like, and I said it like I trust this team, and I meant it. And like when they, Simo went on those runs, there was just something in that particular day where it was like, I trust these guys, and we're gonna roll with how they play.
No doubt, man. And for you, man, I saw you was nominated for Skip Prosser Man of the Year finalist. I know that's a big honor for you, man, because Prosser was a hell of a coach and hell of a
Yeah.
man. So talk about that recognition for you, man. Just be a finalist on that list.
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're successful as a program with wins and losses, you have the opportunity to be looked upon and for different night types of awards and stuff like that. So, I know it's cliche to say, but like I have a really good staff, I have a really good team, and I have good people around me too. Like some teams win, but there's a lot behind the scenes that you're just, there's it's a little bit more difficult to win with some of the things that you have to get them to the court. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good people that allow me as the head coach to be the face of, an opportunity for an award like that and a nomination. And I mean, there's a bunch of better coaches out there for sure, probably way better people on there too, but I'm at least on that list, and it means a lot that, and I respect the people, and I really respect Coach Prosser. I played against him when I was at Marquette, and he was a coach at Xavier, so I know of his successes very well.
No doubt. And you know, let me ask you a quick question, Brian, about Marquette, why you brought it up. Did you play at the Bradley Center or did y'all play on campus?
Yeah, Bradley Center. No, we were at the Bradley Center, the old Bradley Center right there. Yeah, we weren't
Yeah,
at the Mecca. The Mecca one game a year. We would play at the Mecca one game a year. Yeah, the old Mecca.
did they keep the Bucks court down for you all too?
Yeah. No. When I was there at Marquette, when I got there, the year I got there, we had our own court every game. I mean, maybe one or two times, but we had our own court. But previously, they had kept the Bucks. But like at the Mecca, it was the old Mecca court. It had like the M on it. It was like yellow, blue, and red. It was just like, and that was the old Bucks court. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
No doubt, man. Yeah, so I was just curious to ask you about it because I know I slept sometime these days where they, especially when they had, remember when they had to draw all them different lines on the court too, and then the
Yeah.
referee
Like, I mean, you didn't know
you
like
could get
where the lane
confused.
was, where the three was. Yeah. We're going out there. I'm trying to figure out why I'm like not even hitting the back of the rim, on some of my threes because we practiced there a lot and it was on their court. So like whenever we could practice, we'd go down there and practice because you don't always get it. So like, but sometimes they're like, yeah, we're not moving the court just for your practice. So we all acted like we were like when I was there, it was Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell. I mean, they were good. I mean, that was when they were. I mean, they're good now, but that was before they were bad again and now good again.
I'm kind of biased. I love the old purple and green Milwaukee
Yeah.
uniforms. I love them
Yep.
'90s uniforms. I love those the best. These are all right, but I like something about those Ray Allen and Glenn Robinson jerseys. I really like them the best, man.
That's when they had Skip to My Lou was on there during that time. Was it Tim Thomas was there? I mean, they were good, but yeah, those are the uniforms they wore then.
No doubt. And man, for you, Brian, like for you, man, 3 win seasons in a row. Hard doing college basketball with this portal era. And just talk about that as well. About three years in a row winning seasons of year six there. You can never take that away from
Yeah.
you.
No, you can't. I mean, like I'm proud that the in the Division One era for 18, 17 years, no one had ever won. Like there had been, I'm not proud of that, but I'm saying that no one had ever won for all those years, more than 11 games. And we got to, I don't know, 11 or 12, 4 years ago. I can't remember what it was. And you get to 19, you go back down to 17, which was still a winning season. And then you're up to 22. It's hard because you can lose all league players, which we did. You can, guys just get hurt, guys get better, guys, you have to, you got to go like this, right? If you're developing young guys, they're going to eventually get better, but sometimes when they're young, they're not as good. So to have three in a row, winning seasons is, at our level in particular, at a place that, hasn't ever won before, it's something that I'm proud about, because I think it established culture has helped that. I think at the end of the day, we still have a certain amount of foundation, kind of in our DNA that allows us to continue to capitalize on our successes.
That's one for you, Brian. How about y'all's watch party coming up on Sunday? As you wait see where you play on CBS on Sunday evening. So, what are you doing for the Coug fans, your administration, and you all to
Yeah, it's gonna
celebrate
be
this
great. I
moment?
mean, we like one of our mantras this year was hard hats. So we got like 500 or 600 free hard hats getting given out to the first fans. We're pulling out the bleachers. We got the big screens. We're gonna do CBS is coming on a live feed. We're gonna practice in the morning and we're gonna party. I mean, we're gonna celebrate. This is our success, like our community. This is a we thing. I want our fans to experience I mean, history, right? Like, where were you when you knew when SIUE played wherever in the NCAA tournament? And I was right there with Rayshawn Taylor. I was right there with Brian Taylor, Desmond Polk. That's where I was. So come one, come all. Let's go. Let's have a good time.
Well, Brian, I'll tell you, as a friend of yours, man, I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. I was happy like heck that you won that game the other night, man. So you can experience this because you put in a lot of hard work just over the years, man. I'm proud of you, man. I hope like heck you get a win out there in that tournament, man. We're talking again real soon.
Come on, let's roll. Yeah. And when we win, all right, yeah, you get me back. You got my number.
I sure
I can
will, brother.
actually, and I had crazy. Yeah, 550 texts. Like it was like overwhelming. I'm like, man, like I hope no one's. I hope there's like important, like not an important text in there. But I see your number. I got you right away.
I appreciate it, brother. I had to make sure I get you on the celebrities with you, man, because I know where we've been doing this since you got hired, man.
Yep, you've
It's
been there from day
great to
one. You're
see
a
you.
day one dude. Day one dude right there.
Yes, sir. Well, Brian, man, good to talk as always, my brother. Have a great time, and I'll be cheering for you, as always.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Anytime, brother.
I'll see you.